You're live.
I'm driving. Something like that. Oh, chocolate never dropped. Here's the best probably best and it's and we're told. Oh. How do you do?
Just checking in to see if anybody else can hear Star King. Good morning, Zoom folks. This is Leah. I think we have temporarily lost Star King. I did text Philip. He is on location, so hopefully we'll be back up shortly. I also do have all of the slides, so I can share those if we aren't able to hear the presentation. First forum out the gate, and we are in the middle of technical difficulties. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Oh, Philip Moore is reconnecting. That's the Zoom in Star King.
There we go.
Okay, we have an experienced user, perfect, thank you. Oh, sorry, okay.
Tara is a genuine Renoite. She graduated from high school. Received her social work degree from UNN. She then went to work for the Nevada State Division of Child and Family Services before moving to Washoe County government in 2002. She initially served in the Children's Protective Services as a social worker and trainer and supervisor, and he transferred to housing and homeless services as coordinator. She also is involved in management of Northern Nevada Cares campus as well as Our Place. And Tara, thank you for being here.
Yes,
One more unmute if you don't mind, Star King.
It means we don't ask a whole lot of questions. Oh, perfect. Leah, could we go down a little bit? Down one? Okay, so here's kind of where we stopped off. We're talking about our regional, our continuum of care. That's that baseline where everybody's able to document in the same system. Then we'll talk about our shelters and what we have there, and then our housing programs. So the county has started several housing programs, and I'll be able to touch base on all of this because we have some really exciting new programs.
Good.
Next slide, please. Okay, so again, this is talking about how we're able to follow our different populations and make sure that we're coordinating that care. So we do also work very closely with the VA at supporting our veterans. We work with HUD-VASH, which is their housing program. We have our TAY, which is our transitional aged youth ages 18 to 24. So we work very closely with the Eddy House, which is another organization that focuses on that population and do a lot of work with them. They actually have their own outreach team as well that comes and discusses what they can do for those youth. So we work really, really closely with all these different organizations. And then we have Safe Camp. I'll talk about that. Safe Camp is a really remarkable program. So we have individuals in the community that really struggle with congregate care. When you're in the shelter, we have dorms. So you are sleeping very close quarters. You have someone on top of you or someone below you in bunk beds, because it is bunk beds. And there's just some individuals that are really shelter resistant. And that's just a challenging environment to be in. So we have Safe Camp, which is 50 individual pods. They're 10 by 10. They are air conditioned and heated. They are in lower campus. When that comes up, we'll be able to show you where that lower campus is. And so they have their own private space. So these nominations come directly from our street outreach teams that will say they really need help. They are really vulnerable. They really could use this assistance, but still need their own space. And also they're really motivated to become housed. They're motivated to change, but they need a little extra TLC. We wish that we could provide that for every one of our unsheltered individuals. We try the best we can, but these 50 pods really allow us to help those critical individuals, and they have a whole team around them. And those are managed by Karma Box and the county.
By whom? I'm sorry.
The Karma Box Project.
Okay, thank you.
So we have our contract providers on campus. So we work with Volunteers of America, which helps manage the main shelter, and Karma Box Project, which helps us manage our resource center and our safe camp. So we use those individuals, those partners to really help manage and run the facility. Next slide, please. So this is where I was talking about our reporting period. So I apologize, I said 97, we're at 91, which is still huge from where we were in 21 with 60% not reporting. When we first started the program, it was really hard to get people, because it could be a cumbersome system and you have to document, and that can be challenging sometimes. But this is huge that we're able to really work together throughout the community. And this includes Catholic Charities. If someone goes to Catholic Charities for a meal, they can document it in there. So we know if we're looking for someone, hey, we found a housing opportunity for this person. We know they get lunches at St. Vincent's. We can get a message to St. Vincent saying, when they get there, can you let them know they have a housing opportunity, and here's who they can call. So we make sure across the board that we're communicating. Or if we have John's mom is looking for him, can you get John a message that his mom is trying to find him? We document that, and when somebody looks a person up, and they have it, it's called a clarity card. So every unhoused person that is accessing resources gets a clarity card. And they can use that as their form of ID, but they use that to get meals, they use that to get in and out of the shelter. And once you pull up a clarity card, there will be a bright orange banner across the top so that staff knows, open this, there's a message for this person. And we're able to get that message to them. So it's a great system. Next slide, please. So when we talk about low shelter, we really are looking at, if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, We hit them at the very basic, what do you need? And that is a sheltered bed, meal. Do you feel safe? Do you have a place to lay your head? Can you feed your belly? So with low barrier, anybody can come in, anybody is welcome. And that's across the board at the shelters. We do have some parameters that I'll go over at the women's and family shelter, just because there's children there, so we do have to have a little more parameters. But at CARES campus, if you are in need, you can come. We do have rules, of course, and policies and procedures in place that I'll go over to keep people safe. But you do not have to be clean and sober to get into our shelters. We do not allow drugs and alcohol on campus. But if you come in under the influence, we will make sure you're safe and we will get you whatever you need, but we will not turn you away. If your behaviors are escalated in such that you're making yourself or someone else unsafe, we do address that, and you may get, we call them sit outs. But it's take a walk for a couple hours, depending.
What?
A sit out is what we call it. So we
Spell that, something out.
sit. SIT,
Like
Oh,
timeout, like a timeout, yes.
Thank you.
And it depends on what the behavior looks like. So if someone is just having a bad day and they may need to blow off some steam, we say you might need a 2-hour walk. Go take a 2-hour walk and then come back. And we know our folks, we get to know them really well. So we know John just needs 4 hours. So we're gonna let him go out for 4 hours.
Better than 10 replacement.
That's right.
Correct. So we really work closely, and on campus, so when we try to look at getting them and giving them a minute to just settle down. So go take a nap, go sleep through the night, let's get you some food. And then we have a robust team of case management that will meet with you. We have behavioral health on site that can meet with you. We have a nurse on site full-time. We are at the CARES campus, literally next door is Hope's Clinic, which is a remarkable organization that has they have their psychiatric care, therapy, medical care, literally right there. It's not even a full block. And our nurse can do direct referrals, our case management can do direct referrals. So it's really great the way that we all can work together. Again, a lot of our people that we have in shelter have severe mental health, also have some significant medical needs. So trying to work with them on what is it that you need immediately. We are a housing first model where we try to, what can we do to get you housed? But in our mission statement, it is sustainably housed. So we really want to make sure that we get them in a position where once we get them into housing, they're gonna be able to maintain that and not just come right back. Some of the biggest barriers that we see in trying to get someone into an apartment is they might have past evictions. So we don't want to create a situation where we work with them to get their eviction sealed, get them into an apartment where maybe they haven't addressed their mental health or addressed their substance use, and they're not gonna be able to maintain it. They're gonna circle and come right back with yet another eviction. So we really work on the person as a whole and what can we do so that when you get into your housing, you have the skills to maintain it. We also started an aftercare program where we're gonna be following those people. We're gonna be checking in on them. How are you? Have you paid your rent? Why haven't you paid your rent? What's the barrier and how can we help you? Do you have your furniture? Are you getting your food? We work closely with senior services and get people connected with Meals on Wheels, with their homemaker program. And so we really work together again as the county at accessing all the county resources that are available outside of homeless services too, because they really all work hand in hand. So a lot of our folks that are in shelter too will leave for the day and go over to the senior center and use those resources as well. And which is delightful because it really gives a sense of community. Which is another area that once we get people housed, we're seeing they're missing that sense of community that they have at the shelter. So how can we help create that as well and get them connected with the community? So that they want to stay in their own housing and don't want to come back to us.
Wait a minute, you're talking about 4th Street, right?
Correct.
And then you talked about the senior center, which is the Evelyn Mount thing,
On
which is.
On Ninth
is
Street.
The other side of nowhere.
No, the one on 9th Street. So
Yeah,
it's not
how do you
too
get them
far.
from A to B?
They'll either take the bus, a lot of them like to walk. So it just depends.
Okay.
The bus goes directly there.
Oh, it does?
There's a bus stop right out front.
For me, the bus system was operating.
Yeah.
Figure it out, especially with this thing is full treat.
Next slide, please.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
No, please. And I know that we left time too for questions. I'm willing to stay as long as you need me to. Here's some of the information with me coming over from the children's services side. There was a lot of information. I'd worked with the population on that side of the social services system. However, I was really surprised when I got over to the homeless and housing services that part of our largest population of unhoused individuals are over the age of 55. And learning, trying to figure out why is that, what is happening, and what can we do? So there's really a need in the community for group care, for skilled nursing. A lot of the individuals that we have significant medical needs or have mental health needs. They were people that worked every day their entire lives. They lost their jobs and a spouse and couldn't maintain whatever the living situation was with one income or now no income, or going from a 2 or 3 income household down to a retirement income that wasn't sufficient to maintain the housing that they had. And then looking at our housing options for those individuals, there is not enough affordable housing. So we have apartment buildings all over the community, but they're not affordable. So if we're looking at our individuals who are receiving social security retirements, depending on how much they paid into it, or just social security income based on a disability, the average amount is gonna be $970. That's not enough to get an apartment and to get everything that you need. So one of the biggest needs in our community is affordable housing. So we're working on trying to, yes.
I've been trying to get that language changed for years. Low income housing is what we need, because
Yes.
because some owners will say, oh, this is affordable according to the market. And the market is way inflated.
It is way
So,
inflated.
so I like the term low income housing because it's more accurate for those people.
So interesting, actually, we were looking for an apartment yesterday, looking at that, and the lady used the term, tax credit accepted, units, so they're using the real formal language to be, really safe, so yeah, there's a sensitivity around.
Yes, so it's, a lot of people will describe it as 30% AMI, so the average market index, there's so many different terms, but yes, low income. Or reasonable, affordable, there's so many different words that we could use, but just to make it realistic. Yes.
I moved to Reno from Ventura, and there was the ringing of the bells at Christmas time.
Salvation Army.
Salvation. And they took 30% of the person's income. And I think that that's a really good model to do it. That's
That is,
percentage of
yes.
income rather than they get.
and that is what, I'll be talking about a lot of our permanent supportive housing programs and different housing programs that we have where it is 30%. That we look at, and that is reasonable. And something that someone can afford to continue to live how they need to live safely. So we definitely are working on trying to get more of those properties. The city of Reno has been working diligently on creating more of those opportunities. So we do have a whole system of apartments that we refer directly to that know our folks, that take our folks, and it's generally at 30%.
Can I put a little bug in your ear on this one?
Yes.
Most of the section 49 housings, where the feds give them a tax credit based on X amount of people at Y level of income,
Yeah.
like mine. Ours just went up by not 39%.
Yeah.
And most of the section 49 apartments have been bought up by the same company. So there's no place to go. So could you, maybe if I could put a bug in here to talk to somebody, make sure it's not such a damn monopoly?
Yes.
There's no place to go, there's nothing to do.
No, and that is one of our biggest dilemmas. And with the significant budget cuts, it's going to get more challenging when we continue to do the best that we can with what we've got, and getting creative. But that will be an ongoing need. Next slide, please. So this is exciting stuff. So when we first started this program in 2020 during COVID, when we were doing the best that we could with what we had. And I know there was lots of press around to attend that we had, we have grown. So since 2020, we have taken our men's beds from 158 to now we have 493 beds at the CARES campus. So that is huge. Our women's beds at CARES campus, we have 56 women's beds at CARES campus. There are some women that come there, some of them that cannot be at our place. So one of the biggest barriers with our place is if you have a sex offense on your record, you cannot be at our place because there are children on campus. So some of those women go to CARES, but there's also some women that just don't want to be at our place. Their partner might be at CARES, so they want to be at CARES as well. So we do it, yes.
I started thinking about this, trans women would wanna go there, but sometimes they get arrested for prostitution. So that's considered a sex offense.
Not, we look at different types, so
Okay.
any type, yes, and if you identify as a woman, you're welcome at our place.
Good, thank you.
So with that at CARES, so we've increased our women's beds to 50, and then we have those pods, which is 50 units, and that is men and women, interchangeable. So, we also have the family homes at our place. We have 38 families currently at our place. And then we have Joy Home, which is a specific home for 70 and above. Yes,
You have 38 families, what's the capacity are you at?
38. We are at capacity with the wait list. We are at capacity. Every bed is full with a wait list. So it is, we are busting at the seams. So with that, we have gone from a total capacity of 228 men and women to 757 total men and women. It's remarkable. And then our family is, again, we have 38 families.
And that's the whole community.
That is the whole community. So the CARES campus is on 4th Street. We
Right.
have our places over at the Northern Nevada Adult Mental Health Campus. So we have some
Yeah.
buildings there. Next slide,
And the
please.
teens and youngest adults go.
And so, the young adults can go either. So they could either be at our place or at CARES campus.
Male teens.
They would go over to CARES campus.
Okay.
Tara,
So-
there's a few questions online. Do you mind if I pop those into your brain real quick?
Not at all.
So this is from Penny. Her first question is, how many of the TAY, the transitional aged youth, are foster children aging out of the foster care system? And she's also curious if you work with bankers and get support from bankers.
Well, that's a wonderful question. So don't have the statistics right off the top of my head about the TAY coming out of foster care. I know coming from the CPS side that there is, a program that we continue to work with our foster youth until 24. So we are able to continue to case manage that. And I know on that side, they have a specialized unit of folks that is their specialty. And they provide additional case management with lower caseloads in order to give those youth the attention that they need. And help them transition. And I know a lot of our youth from the foster care system, if they need to transition out of their foster homes, we work with the Eddy House very closely with their new transitional housing building. We work really closely with trying to get our youth into there and can provide that ongoing case management. And then with bankers, we're always open to looking at relationships with our community partners. So if there's anybody that's interested, they can reach out at any great time. So we have if you just Google Washoe County Housing and Homeless Services, we do have a webpage that comes up. On there is how do you contact us and how can we help? So we do have a wish list of things that the shelter needs. And then there's other opportunities as well that we can talk about as far as you want to come into the shelter to volunteer. We've just opened that up. So you can contact Catholic Charities and they provide all of our meals. So we do have a contract with them. So we have, Reno Gospel Mission helps us with our breakfast. We do pastry breakfast, and then there's 2 hot meals. And those are delivered out of an industrial kitchen. So Catholic Charities makes those meals, brings them over, so there's hot meals. But we always need help with service, with lunch and dinner service.
Yes.
So it's a great way if anybody's interested in helping,
Yeah.
that is a huge need. So here is our CARES campus and the different phases. So Safe Camp, you can see, is up to the left-hand corner, and those are those 50 pods. There is a resource center that's down there as well, so they can go in, they have access to computers. And that they have staff down there that can help them with resume building. They want to apply for apartments, they can apply right down there. They do have their own case manager down there, that manages them. That's a Washoe County case manager on top of the criminal box staff. That is down there 24/7. We have the dorm, if you can see the building that it says phase 2. That kind of curves around, that's called our sprung. The reason we call it sprung, I guess, is because that's the company that built it and the name stuck. So that is our dorms. There's bathrooms at either end of those that provide a shower space that has a dressing room area space, so there's a lot of privacy. There are staff in the restrooms at all times, just to make sure that everybody is safe. And there's also laundry in there, so they say, okay, John brought his laundry in and put it in washing machine 1. Only John can come and get the laundry from washing machine 1, so that we don't have any theft or anything like that. So there's a significant amount of staff that helps manage everything. And then the dorms again are bunks. And then we have a cubby area. So it is little cubbies like you would see in an office, but it's got a little storage locker, a bed, and it's quieter, a little quieter space. And it's kind of a step-up system that if we have someone in the bunks and they're working with case management, they get a job, they're getting stable, they need the ability to maybe get a little quieter rest because they are now employed and we're working on them saving money so that we can get them into sustainable housing. We can nominate them for the bunks and they will go into the cubbies, or excuse me, out of the bunks into a cubby. And then from there, we'll help transition out. So we have those systems at both our place and at CARES. And again, we've got case management that meets with the individuals a minimum of every 2 weeks. Generally, it's weekly. And their caseloads are roughly between 40 and 50 individuals.
You have any high school student?
We do not have any high schools. Well, actually, we do have a couple 18-year-olds that are finishing up their degrees.
Excellent.
Yep. So we work with everybody. We did have an individual for a while that is still receiving services through the school district. So the school bus came to campus and picked him up. He's got some delays that qualified him to receive educational services through 24. So we did have the school bus come.
That's great.
So we have on phase 3, we have our resource centers and our intake welcome center. So the new welcome center was just finished a little over a year ago. It's where case management lives. It's also our intake. So to get onto the shelter, it is a 1 point of entrance. So we have everybody that comes into shelter has to go through security. So we have an x-ray machine and you have to go through the little x-ray block and we have security there that is there 24/7. So that's where we try to monitor to make sure no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. We also ask that there's no perishable food. We have a very clean campus. We are very mindful of, we live in northern Nevada and bugs can come if you let them. So no perishable foods. But unless you bring in, if someone went down the street and grabbed a sandwich and wanted to bring it in, they can bring it in and go directly to the cafeteria. They cannot have it in the dorms, but it can be a 1 meal. And we just kind of make sure they do go to the cafeteria. And as you can see, there's trees, there's a beautiful courtyard area so people can be outside. We don't want people just laying in their bunks. We want them to come out, congregate. Also look at who are you friends with? Can we find a housing opportunity for 2 of you? If you guys want a Golden Girls site, and let's make so that you have that community when you leave us. So all of our intake is done right there at the Welcome Center in that one point of entry. And again, our staff is amazing. Volunteers of America is amazing. Their staff knows every individual that comes in and out. So people are greeted by name. It's really lovely to see.
Is there you have to be out time in the bunk?
No. Yes, actually, when we spray, we do cleanings every day and we do spray once a week. So they do have to leave for a short period of
About
time.
what time?
It depends on what dorm they're doing. So it's generally for maybe 2 hours. So they can go, the cafeteria is open. Every day there's a little library in there. If they want to play a game in there. So they have space to go when we need to do that. We kind of do it by sections.
The reformer out by 5:30, remember how cold it was?
Yep, we don't do that anymore.
Oh,
No, we do not do that anymore. Yes,
May I just ask how often is clean bedding available?
once a week they get new sheets.
Is the house big?
Unless there's a need, if we have, we do have a lot of individuals with some incontinence issues. That is, we do ask that, especially working with the hospitals in town when they're doing their discharges. Another requirement to be on campus, even though we are low barrier, they have to be able to meet, it's called their ADLs, acts of daily living. You need to be able to toilet yourself, you need to be able to bathe yourself, because that's things that our staff cannot do. We're not medical providers, so we cannot do that. We do have individuals that do have some incontinence issues. We get them what they need. If they need Depends, if they need closer access to the restroom, we'll do what we can to move their bunk closer to the restroom. We won't ask them to leave because of that. But we may say, we know this person, we know they can't complete their ADLs. St. Mary's, you need to take them back and help them find the appropriate place to be. And working with the hospitals on appropriate discharges. And how can we get them in the appropriate care, because they have the ability to do those referrals a lot easier than we do, even though we will work with them.
Do you have accessible things? There's some people that with handicapped access can do their own ADLs.
Yes.
Is that part of it?
Everything is ADA accessible. And if we have folks that need, that are on oxygen, we make sure they get bunks near an outlet. So we will do what we can to make sure that someone has everything that they need.
If there is a transition. If you get totally within.
Yes, we work really closely with the different adult protective services, aging services on, we've got this individual, we've seen a decline. Can we make a report to you? Can you come out? We will continue to work with them and help them as much as we can until you can help get them into the appropriate placement.
And so those nursing homes that take these.
Yes, it just takes a really long time to get there. So that's where we work really closely with adult protective services as well, and aging and disabilities that can help with that.
You said St. Mary's coordinates the nursing home?
No, we just work with all the different hospitals. I should have said all three of them, but just as an example of where you can call us and say, we've got this individual, do you have a bed? Those are some of the questions that we ask. So one of the other buildings that we have that is very exciting. So if you look at phase 4, supportive housing, this is a new building that we've just completed. It was been on the news even, but this is our permanent supportive housing building. This is 50 units that the county will manage, and this is for our most challenging to place individuals. So we do a housing assessment with every individual that we come into contact with. Based on that score is kind of the level of need. So our highest scoring individuals, so people with significant mental health, significant physical issues, very difficult to house, they've been homeless on and off the streets for years. These individuals are gonna be able to move into that building. That building is gonna have the ACT model, so I'll be able to talk more about that. There's some slides, so I'll talk more about that, but this is very, very exciting. And then the other building is going to be managed by Accessible Space. So this is a company that builds housing and manages individuals. The first, I believe 50 units will be for people that are wheelchair bound. And they will manage that, and then they're building another 150 units for people with traumatic brain injuries and other disabilities, and they will be able to live there. So this is also very exciting. So those are kind of,
On the same campus?
yes, all on the same campus.
How many acres is that?
Oh,
Ish.
I do not know, but it's big. Okay, next slide, please. And this is our place campus. So this is Northern Nevada Adult Mental Health Campus. We have the lower corner, so it's 21st in Glendale, and we have those buildings. So we have a dorm for our women, we have our family homes, we have our Joy Home, which is the 70 above, the 20 beds there. We have our Hope Home. So our family homes all have a kitchen. The families have their individual rooms for their families. So it is, if we have a family of 6 kids, 2 parents, they're all in one room. It gets snug, really snug. But they have access to a kitchen, living room. Makes it as homey as we can for the kids. And they get a dinner time where they're scheduled to make their food so their family can go and have family time without all the families in that home. So we try to work it so each family has their own meal time. And also in Hope Home, it's a home that's up a little bit higher on campus. So some of our individuals that are a little more independent, there's a kitchen up there as well. So those are maybe ladies fleeing from domestic violence or women that have a little more independence. They have the SNAP benefits. They're able to cook for themselves. They can go up to Hope Home. The women that are in the dorms has access to a dining hall where meals are provided for them.
Is there a school tutoring program anywhere in there?
So we have the Early Learning Center, which is a daycare center, so not school, but daycare. So our families that are working have access to daycare right on site. It is also open to the community, but also it's a lot of our folks that have moved on, continue to keep their kids there. But we work really closely with children in transition through Washoe County School District so that children can remain in their homeschool. So we have different buses that come and pick up kids so that they can stay in their school of origin.
So that help with homework and stuff like that?
We don't provide tutoring, but if a lot of them go to the Boys and Girls Club, and that program does provide tutoring.
How far is the Boys and Girls Club from the campus, just out of curiosity?
It depends on which one they're enrolled in.
There's,
So they can choose either to have them, a lot of the schools have them on site. So some of them can do it there or 9th Street. A lot of our kids like to go to that one.
So is this off 9th Street then? I was trying to figure out.
No, this is down across from the Grand Sierra.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So Galletti is
Yeah.
involved in the 21st Street is on the other side of campus.
Thank you.
And then we have Soulful Seeds that has their garden that's right in front of campus. So our ladies can go down and help with gardening and learn about how to grow their own sustainable food. It's really lovely. They will harvest and bring it up to campus. They've done some cooking classes for our ladies to show them, here's what you do with a squash if you've never seen one before. So it's really cool. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is, I think I've already explained a lot of this, what our purpose is. It's to make sure our folks have a safe place to land until we can get them housed. We are not intended to be their permanent destination, but a stop on their journey. Next slide, please. Our intakes at both places, we have 24/7 service. So anybody can come in to our intake center at any point in time during the day. If we don't have a bed, they're welcome to sit in the welcome center until a bed is available. Right now for the men, it's approximately 2 days to be on the wait list. And then our family homes, we have a significant wait list, so it's a little bit longer. And our women's, it's about 2 days as well. So the difference, we have drop-in services at both places. Our resource center that's on CARES campus has our mail room. So anybody can use that as an address for their mail. We have a gal there that keeps track of everything. If we are helping people order birth certificates, social security cards, award letters, any type of official documents, and the woman running the mailroom notices that, we hold on to mail for 30 days. If someone doesn't come with important documents, those go under lock and key and case management, and then we will put a note in that HMI system saying original documents at CARES Welcome Center. So that if someone is come in, ordered birth certificate, ordered their ID and left campus, and they check in somewhere else, they can be reminded, don't forget your documents are over there. So a lot of people lose documents. So we will also hold on to those for some of our folks that aren't yet ready to become stable in housing. We'll hold on to them for them and they know that they're there. Cause that can be a challenge.
Do you then send them back to the post office if they don't pick them up in 30 days?
No, those we hold on to. All other mail will get sent back to the post office, except for those documents we put under lock and key. And we just keep those with my team. With the family homes, because we're talking about children and they're vulnerable. If a family comes in and puts their name on the wait list, we will put them in a motel. If there's an immediate need, we talk to them about, is there anywhere you can go? Where's grandma? Where's grandpa? Do you have a brother? Do you have a friend? Is there someplace the kids can be? And we can maybe get you a bed in the women's shelter, or you a bed in the men's shelter. We also have a lot of single dads. So is there someplace you can be until your bed is available, until your room is available for your family? If not, we will put them in a motel. If we do any type of motel placement, we do make a report to Children's Protective Services so that someone from that service can go out and touch base with them. How are you doing? How are the kids doing? Is there anything that you need additional help with? Are your children safe? That is something that our team can't do on our site, is assess children's safety. So we do work collaboratively with Children's Protective Services on, you have a team that can go out and check on safety of kids.
So they don't lose their kids immediately, right?
Oh, heavens, no. No. Simply being homeless is not a reason to lose your children. Yes.
Don't first CPS or.
I know a lot of people don't. So no, the model that we're using now is that no. So we do what we can to identify, is there any place we can go? We also have, with all of our folks that come in, if they come into the resource center, where are you from? And who do you have in your life that can support you? So if someone comes in and says, actually, my brother in Florida says they can help me, can you get me to Florida? We don't just buy a ticket and do Greyhound therapy. We will call the brother in Florida and say, your brother says that you are willing to help them, is that true? And are you willing to help them long-term? And do you know what you're signing up for? Do you know what his barriers are? So that there's a realistic recipient on the other end. Once we do that, then we say, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get you that ticket to Florida and make sure you get to where you wanna be. And with people who are gonna love you and support you. So we do that, but not without confirming there's a recipient on the other end. So that's a big help and a big service that we provide as well. So with the placement in motels, we continue to work with them while they're in the motel to addressing any type of issues. Do you need employment resources? Let's make sure the kids are in school. Let's make sure the kids have seen a doctor and getting what they need. So that's being handled on that side of the shop while they're on the wait list and we're trying to get them into a family home. So once they're in the family home, they come to us and the CPS case closes. We just don't have the ability to monitor kids in that situation.
I'm sorry to ask, what motels are they being housed in?
Whatever's available. We have different motels that we work with, and it depends on who has the room and depending on the size of the families.
I don't think we've heard anything about how undocumented individuals.
We provide assistance that we can to whoever that we can. If someone shows up at shelter and they need a bed, they're welcome to stay at the shelter.
Thank you.
Thanks. So that is one thing we don't, a lot of our folks do not have IDs, they do not have birth certificates, they do not have any family documentation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next slide, please. So we've already gone over this.
Yes.
Here's another fun thing. Well, next slide, please.
Yes.
Okay, so our policies and procedures, we've talked a lot about this, our eligibility requirements. We need to be 18 years of age to come in. We don't take single youth. We would refer them to the Eddy house. But 18 and above. The rules and expectations, respect other participants, staff and property. You cannot steal other people's belongings. You cannot be abusive to other individuals, you cannot be abusive to staff. No alcohol, drugs, or paraphernalia allowed on campus. We try to make it the safest environment that we can. We do have folks that are trying to obtain sobriety, maintain their sobriety. We also work really closely with a lot of the transitional housing opportunities in our community that do have requirements of being sober. And participating in programming, so when we have someone that's ready, we will help them transition. Yes,
Do you have 12-step programs out on the campus?
we don't have them on the campus, but we're working on bringing them onto campus. Yes,
Talk to you later.
yes, but we do, provide them, here's where they are, here's the closest ones, here's how we can get you there. Here's where we can get you connected with a sponsor and they can come and pick you up. We have all of that. And right down the street, we have Reno Works, which is another organization that provides walk-in outpatient services. That's and that's also run through Criminal Box. So if it's someone who's not comfortable with going to an agency that they're not familiar with, they're familiar with Criminal Box. So they can go there, trying all sorts of different avenues. Our place, because there's children on campus and because we have women and there's some vulnerabilities there, we do have curfew there. So it's 9 PM for our families and 11 PM for our women. Now, we have a woman that's employed or a dad in the family shelter that's employed and they don't get off work till 1 AM, they come to campus at 1 AM. CARES campus there's no curfew. You can come in and out as you please, as you need. We do have our sit outs. We have 300 to 400 critical incidents each month.
What's that mean, sit out?
A sit out is you need to go take a time out.
Time out.
That's when you need your time out.
Their temper.
So if they do come on site with a weapon, if we find a weapon in their belongings that they snuck in, if they were able to get substances in through throwing a bag over the back gate or hiding in the fence somewhere or sneaking it in, because that's sometimes what. If we find that, they do get a sit out longer. So we could do a 2-day sit out, 30-day sit out, depending on how egregious the behavior is. Violent crimes, if there is a violent offense that causes substantial bodily harm, that is a 30-day sit out. So that is not a ban, that is not you can never come back, but this is significant and you hurt someone and we need to make sure that everybody here is safe. So they can't come on campus. We do an average of 100 sit outs each month. Now that can be your 2-hour, your 4-hour, a 2-day, or a 30-day. So our length of stay, there is none. We do not have a length of stay. We have a requirement to please work with case management on trying to obtain housing, because again, we are not a permanent destination. The need is too great to have people stay. We need to be able to get the beds available for the people that the ongoing need. So that is a work limit, but please work with case management. And we look at each individual where they're at. If we're not gonna expect someone to do something they're physically not capable of, mentally not capable of. So if we have folks that are just checking in until we can find them a group home or we can find them a permanent supportive housing option, we do that. And we don't hold them to a standard that they cannot meet. So that's something we really work hard at. Next slide, please. Here are some of our numbers. I think I saw one of the questions pop up is how many staff do you have? So at CARES campus, I have 17 case managers with 2 supervisors. We have 5 mental health counselors, 4 support staff, our 2 facilities guys that helps keeps us running, and an operations. Our supportive staff, we have 177 between our 24-hour security, our 24-hour operators, and our safe camp staff. So those are our Volunteers of America folks that are in the welcome center, they're in the dorms, they're in the restrooms, they are walking around campus, they're making sure that everybody is safe, doing what they need to do, they kind of handle things if someone's getting a little unruly. But we make sure that we are fully staffed. And then we have our resource center. Again, that's a drop-in center. Anybody can show up at our resource center. Summer hours are 8 AM to 6 PM, but shower, laundry service, meals, mailroom and case management. I have 2 case managers that are down at the resource center at all times. So if it's someone that doesn't want to be in the shelter, but still wants to come and get help, they have that available to them. We're getting ready to go into our winter hours, which usually start in November, and then we are a 24-hour resource center where they can come in and shower and have a warm place to stay and have access to laundry. So that is starting, we usually do that in November through April, or when the temperatures rise above 35 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, that part itself is an incredible lesson.
Yes, it's been like nice.
Yeah.
Federal funding, how could that possibly affect your whole program?
We are funded through grants and local government.
Good.
So we don't believe we'll see greatly impacted. Our ability to grow more might be impacted, but we are able to sustain what we have.
That's great.
Yes.
County in both cities, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Next slide, please.
When you said that sometimes women go to cares because their partner's there.
Yeah.
But there's no place for them to be with their partner.
No,
No.
no, it is single bed. That would open up a whole other.
Well, they could be could they be in the, you said that camping area?
Nope.
When there's a will, there's a way.
There, yes, well, there's a way, but we try really hard not to do that. So, and even at Safe Camp, if we do have a couple down at Safe Camp right now, they're in separate pods. And there's a rule, there's no 2 people in a pod at any point in time. That's a steadfast rule. Yeah, no. Yeah. So at our place, here's our staffing. We have 7 case managers for both the women and the family side with 2 supervisors, 2 mental health counselors, 4 support staff. So our support staff, we have, they're called human services support specialists. So they do a lot of work with the families, making sure doctor's appointments are made for kids and add a little more. There's a little more nuances when you're working with children, that we have some additional support that help with that. And then we have 65 volunteers in America staff that are on campus in all the different homes. So with our family homes, we have 4 homes, 7 families in one, 11 in another, 10 in another, and then we have our maternity and newborn, which has 10 homes. So those rooms are a little bit smaller. So if we have a woman in the women's program, she's in the dorms and she is 7 months pregnant, we will work on getting her into the family homes when she is approximately 8 months pregnant, so that when she goes into labor, she has a safe place to bring the baby back to.
Yeah.
So we do have those maternity programs and do transition women in there. And then the Hope Home, 36 women, the dorm has 102, and then again, Joy Home has those 20 women with a dedicated case manager for those 20 women. Because they take a lot of work trying to get them where they need to be. Okay, next slide, please. We have pets on campus. So we have seen that part of people being shelter resistant is they don't want to leave their animals. So their animals can come with them. They can bring up to 2 animals they can come in with. They can't be in shelter and go get a new animal. They can bring them in with them. So we make sure they have what they need. They do need to be vaccinated, and we do ask that they get spayed and neutered within 30 days of them being on campus, and then we provide the appointment time. We get them to and from, and we work with options and with the county animal services to get that done and to get vaccinations cut up. We keep track of those. We have some beautiful kennels that were built, so if we have an individual that has a dog but also needs to work, there's a safe kennel for the dog to go into, so that they can go to work and not have to worry about they're able to keep their pets near their beds. So kennels are in the dorms. We just ask that they have to be on leash. We cannot have any pet off leash. If they're aggressive, we do ask that they're muzzled. But we haven't had significant issues. We've had ferrets. I saw a bunny when I first started on a leash. We've had cats on leashes. Lots of dogs. They're all very friendly. We have a lizard right now, so all pets. So that is nice, and one of the things that I think we do that's different than a lot of shelters in the country. So next slide, please. Again, our basic services that you can do if you're in shelter or not. You have access to all of this. Next slide. Our enhanced services, I think I've talked about a lot of these already, that our diversion process, our case management that meets with our individuals and things that they need for behavioral health. So they all do crisis interventions. If we have someone that's in crisis, they can respond immediately, but they're also able to provide some individual therapy until we can get them established in the community with a provider. They're also able to provide evaluations that are needed to get them into different substance abuse treatment programs. So that has been really helpful to have that right on site. They also can do some psychoeducational groups on campus. So they do some behavioral therapy groups on campus, which is lovely for people that are afraid to go into another agency.
That's great.
And then we have our medical team. So we do have our nurse on campus, and we also are getting a med pod. So there is one at Senior Services, if you're interested in seeing it. The one at Senior Services is open to anybody in the community that wants to use it. If you go in and just check in and say, I need to use the med pod. It is a remarkable thing. It's a 20-foot little room, and you go in and the windows frost so nobody can see who's in there. You get connected real time with the doctor that comes on a screen. The pod will take your temperature, your weight, your blood pressure. Stuff drops out of the ceiling, and the doctor will say, put that in your mouth and let me see your tonsils, put that in your ear. And you get directions, and you can leave with a prescription if you need a prescription.
Whoa.
So, and again, that's open to anybody in the community. And then we have one that Anthem actually sponsored that is going to be on campus for any of our unhoused individuals. So that will be at the resource center. And the reasons that we can't let it be, have that be open for everybody in the community is based on trying to respect the confidentiality of our people on campus. We're really big on protecting their confidentiality, but it's very exciting. Very, very exciting. So that is gonna be up and running in the next month, I think. So, yes, very excited. And then we do have our nurse that's on site that does triage, wound care, some medication management if needed. Next slide, please. Well, we are running way past time. I talked a lot, but we'll just kind of
You had
go.
lots of questions too.
Yes, more questions. So I'll just go real quick over our permanent supportive housing journey. And actually, if you want to, next slide, I'll just show you a picture of why I go over it. This is where we're putting those 50 individuals. And if you want to go to the next slide, it'll show you what it looks like. But this is coming with a team of a psychiatrist, a nurse, their own case management staff. There'll be a housing specialist, employment specialist, their own mental health team, and a full-time nurse. So again, these are our most difficult individuals in our community, and we're providing the most support that we can for that. This is, they will have a 1-year lease, so this is an apartment lease. Again, we have some individuals that will be paying zero rent, we have other individuals that will be paying 30%, depending on if they have income or not, but it was not income based, it was need based. So,
Handle severe, paranoid schizophrenia.
yes,
Yes.
so the people in the community that we have not been able to house, we now have housed.
Oh,
So this is, we're moving our first individuals in on October 27th. Yeah, it's wonderful. Next slide, please. This is just about that model. So next, so out of the 50 units, 5 of those are HUD bash. So 5 of those belong to the VA, and they're getting their individuals in as well. Next slide, please. This is what the apartment looks like. So we also have the ability, so it is a 2-stove cooktop, and there are double units. So we have a couple that's moving in. We actually have 2 couples that are moving in, so they'll be able to live with their spouse. This will be our only co-ed. So it's an apartment. But we also have the ability to turn off the cooktop. If we have someone that's placed that isn't safe to cook their own meals on a cooktop, it is turned off. So we thought of everything and anything that you could have thought of. We thought of.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. So next slide, please. These are some of our partners. We work really closely with everybody. All of these have MOUs to be able to come on site so that we have, Nevada Legal Services comes onto site to help people with their seal their evictions. We have the welfare agency comes on, so if someone needs to apply for SNAP benefits, Medicaid, any of the benefits, they are on campus and have campus hours. So that is, people can get what they need when they need it right there. We're also starting a new partnership with the Northern Nevada Literacy Council, and we'll be providing classes on site to help people with their literacy and be able to take their GED. So that is starting in the next month. So lots of growth, lots of good things coming. And I'm sorry, I could talk about this for days. So, next slide.
We don't have that much.
Yes, next slide, please. Just give you a little bit of data of here's kind of where we're at and then our challenges. So we have our average studio cost. And if you can see for a studio, it's up close to 1,400. Our annual wage is not, yes. And then if we look at our unemployment rates, the light purple is the United States. We're the blue.
Yeah.
Next slide, please. Here's what the need is. So for permanent supportive housing for individuals, families, or rapid rehousing, which is to get someone into housing, you need to have a deposit and first month's rent. So rapid rehousing is kind of a program that helps with that. So there's the unmet need. It's significant. So it's what we need, what we have, and where we need to go. So we're working on it. Next slide, please. And here's again, where we need that support and where we're kind of working together to get there. And what we have for the 0 to 30% AMI is all managed by the county, and then Reno and Sparks is working on that affordable rental housing, the low income housing. And that's where Reno and Sparks are really, really helping us. Next slide, please. And this is the inside of our campus. So that's it. I really appreciate you having me and for being curious about this and being invested in our community, investing in this population. They need it. They're a definitely misunderstood population.
Yes.
So we really appreciate that there's people that are interested in learning about that.
Harris campus had a bad reputation when it first opened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does, yes, and unfortunately it does. But we're doing what we can with what we have. And I'll just, it's all coming from a really good place, and we're trying to keep people safe and get them what they need.
Well, as someone who has been homeless, and the gods are all nice, I'll never have to go through that crap again. Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you. That was quite an eye-opening presentation. We didn't realize how much you were accomplishing, and we're grateful for it.
Yes.
And we're grateful for your.
Yeah.
Thank you. So if you have other questions, just come up here and
Thank you very much.
It's nice to-
We're